Welcome back to Criminally Human, where behind every headline is a person, a story, and sometimes the story comes knocking at your own door. Usually, I sit here and tell you about tragedies that happen to other families, other communities, other people. But tonight is different. Tonight I want to tell you about something that happened to me. Something that reminded me that the darkness I cover on this channel isn't just out there. It's here. It's real. And sometimes it's directed straight at me. Last night I was doing something ordinary. I was laying in bed, feet kicked up, just talking to my spouse. We were laughing, decompressing after a long day. The last thing on my mind was work or videos or crime stories. Then my phone buzzed. It was a YouTube notification. I thought nothing of it, I get them all the time. But when I opened it, I froze. The comment read, "I'll have you killed." One sentence. Cold. Direct. No context, no build-up, just violence. But here's what made this different, what made my stomach twist. This wasn't from some faceless troll hiding behind a fake username and a cartoon avatar. This came from a real account. With a real picture. Real face. A real identity staring back at me. That's when I knew this wasn't just a troll. This was someone bold enough, or unstable enough, to put their name and face on a death threat. I turned the phone to my spouse, and for a moment we just stared at the screen. Do we laugh it off? Do we shrug and say, "It's just the internet"? Or do we take it seriously? 'Cause the truth is, you never know. Sometimes threats are empty. But sometimes, they're not. And when someone is willing to put their real identity on the line while typing those words, that takes the threat to another level. But here's the part one want you to understand. We weren't afraid. Not me, not my spouse. What we felt wasn't fear. It was clarity. Because if people are threatening me like this, it means people are watching. People are listening. And it means the truth I'm speaking cuts deep enough to provoke rage. Psychologists talk a lot about anonymity on the internet. How people hide behind screens and masks, saying things they'd never say in real life. They call it the online disinhibition effect, where anonymity strips away empathy, and rage becomes easy to project. But when that mask comes off, when someone threatens you while showing their face, it reveals something darker. That's not disinhibition. That's obsession. That's instability. That's someone who either doesn't care about consequences or doesn't believe they'll face any. And here's the reality, words matter. Threats matter. Too often people brush them off as just online talk. But history tells us otherwise. Stalkers start with messages. Attackers start with threats. Violence often begins with words typed on a screen. Now let's address the question on your mind. Am I going to show his account? Am I going to put his face up on the screen so you can all see who said it? No. Not because I'm scared, but because I refuse to give him that power. I won't give him the attention he was reaching for when he typed those words. But let me be crystal clear. The fact that this was a real account with a real face is what makes it so disturbing. He wasn't hiding. He wasn't trying to cover his tracks. He wanted me to see him. He wanted me to know, this is who's threatening you. And that should tell you everything you need to know about how unhinged people can be online. This isn't just about me. This is about the state of the internet. We live in a world where social media gives everyone a voice. And while that can be beautiful, giving people platforms to share stories, connect, and inspire, it also gives people a stage to be cruel, unhinged, and violent. Creators, especially those who talk about dark topics like true crime, face this reality more than most. We put ourselves out there, telling stories of tragedy, corruption, and failure. And some people can't handle it. Some lash out with insults. And others, with threats. And if you think it's harmless, think again. We've seen creators stalked, harassed, even attacked. We've seen threats cross the line into real-world violence. And every time someone shrugs it off as just words, we ignore the fact that words are where it starts. Last night could have been a moment of fear. But instead, it was a moment of resolve. Because as I sat there, phone in hand, spouse by my side, I realized something important. We are not afraid. Not me and not my spouse. And that's because threats like this don't silence us. They expose the truth. They show that people are listening, that these stories are hitting where they're supposed to. If my voice wasn't powerful, if these stories didn't matter, no one would bother threatening me. So let me say this as clearly as I can. Will I be silenced? Absolutely not. Will I cower? Absolutely not. Am I afraid? Absolutely not. And neither is my spouse. Because someone has to tell these stories. Someone has to strip away the polished version the media feeds you and give you the raw, unfiltered truth. And if that makes people angry enough to threaten my life from a real account, with a real face attached, then good. That means I'm hitting a nerve. No threat, faceless or not, will ever silence me. To the man who thought his words would scare me, you failed. All you did was prove that what I'm doing here matters.